Hey, I'm Partyman X. I am joined by SecksWrecks.
Hi, I played this game as a kid, and that's more than I can say for some of the other games in the Awful Block I've done commentary for, so this should be a good time.
This is Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. It's a sequel to Pac-Man. It's pretty basic, kind of follows a lot of the same ideas as the first game. So if you've played the first game, it's pretty straightforward. Let's just get into it in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so first off, we have a tutorial that we're going to skip, and then we have our first cutscene that we're going to skip. Famously, Pac-Man with lots of cutscenes introduced it. So, Pac-Baby needs milk. And, we're going to kind of go off route here because I missed the first trick. So this is a good introduction to what this game is. We want Pac-Man to move as much as possible, but we don't have control of him. So the next best thing is to just make sure he's constantly terrified, fearing for his life. So we're just going to facilitate that. So as I was saying, Pac-Baby needs milk. Here's the milk. We can't go to the store. So we just gotta solve this complex puzzle where you have to figure out that, this crow is how you get the milk. So I wouldn't advise if you have a child to feed them raw milk, but Pac-Man...
No, you definitely want to pasteurize it first, at least.
Yeah, Pac-Man doesn't know that yet, so he's going to learn a hard lesson. So we're going to death warp here. I just realized that I entered the screen from the other side, so the death warp isn't as fast. But, the intent is to get to the left side of the screen, but because I missed the, you're supposed to make the windmill in his yard chase him and scare him into getting to the middle of the farm, but we missed that. So, anyway, we are back at home, and we are ready to start the second mission of the game, the longest mission. So the interesting thing about this game is that Pac-Man and his family are the only Pac people out there. So we have to get fresh mountain flowers for Pac-Man's human friend Lucy. So we're just going to knock down that bee's nest again, beehive. And the thing I love about that animation is Pac-Man's mouth is agape as soon as that thing drops, basically. So he is for sure getting a mouthful of bees every time. All right.
I'd say a mouthful of bees is probably about as healthy as a mouthful of raw milk.
Yeah. All right, so now we're in the mountains where we're going to get our flower, and perhaps more importantly, throughout the game, in addition to our mission objectives, we have to get 3 ghost ID cards to access the final boss. So we're going to also get one of those. We're on our way towards that right now. Another thing in this game that I haven't explained yet is that you can, at any time, drop a power pellet. You have 3 available to you when starting each mission, but you can collect more as you go through, and that will turn Pac-Man into Super Pac-Man, and he'll just fly through a screen. It's very useful for going fast. Like here, we would have to shoot Pac-Man to make him platform on all of these wooden platforms. That is extremely slow, as you might imagine. So we're just going to fly right through this. We're going to want to land Pac-Man in a pretty precise spot here. I think we got a little too close to this minecart, so he's going to want to go towards the guide and read that first. We're going to try to direct him back to the minecart, which he will not cooperate with. So now we know how to control the minecart. And we're headed to this game's worst thing. Everyone's nightmare. So already I feel like people don't exactly like minecart sections of video games. So how about we have a minecart section where you don't control the minecart? You may notice I am telling Pac-Man to go faster constantly. If everyone in the chat could join in, that would be very nice. And I think this is a good time for a donation or two, if you have any.
Yeah, we sure do. We've got a $50 donation from Hypno Kairu, who says, Smug Pac-Man is best Pac-Man. And we've got a pretty wild one here. Incoherent has donated $1,000. Thank you,
wow.
Incoherent. Yes. And they say, Happy Awful Block 2023, everybody. Thank you, Incoherent. Thank you for the $1,000. Thank you very much.
That is a lot of money to put on Pac-Man 2.
Yeah, for awful video games, $1,000.
Wow. All right, so we're going to get through this last crusher here. Those are very scary because nothing you do except just going under them will get you past them, so you have to time it just right. And need I remind you, you are telling Pac-Man what to do and he is reacting, so it's not exactly precise. All right, so now...
He got a lot of friction from that rope in like a meter.
Yeah, not to mention he's wearing gloves too, so like... That should have been fine. I guess the gloves are just part of Pac-Man? It's just his skin?
I suppose so. Anyway, time for identity theft.
Yeah, so here's our first identity card. We're going to need 2 more of these to access the final boss. The last one, interestingly, the game just doesn't let you get until the last part of the game, so yeah, they kind of hide it from you in a weird way where like you're almost intended to get to the final boss and then be locked by the ID cards, which is not how I would do it.
Certainly a choice that was made in the development process of this game.
Yeah. That's a lot of this game. All right, so we... something interesting about this game is that we want to kind of manipulate Pac-Man's mood throughout the game. So you'll notice I had intentionally had water drip on Pac-Man to get him mad, so then he would react quickly to the machine not doing anything. So that's another interesting part of this run, is trying to manage that. A lot of the route is kind of designed around getting Pac-Man into the right state to do things. And what I just did was something a little different between the Super Nintendo and Genesis versions, is that when you dodge that rock, if you shoot Pac-Man out of the way, he will get scared in the Genesis version. In the Super Nintendo version, he'll stay happy. Okay, that didn't go so well. So you have to shoot that rock out of the way before Pac-Man takes off with the hang glider. It is incredibly difficult to do that, and this last shot, like the screen needs to scroll a little bit before you make it, but now we've taken off, and Pac-Man is going higher at our command. So if you want to throw that in chat, go ahead, or just say faster. Honestly, you could just be saying faster the rest of this run, and I'll kick it to some more donations.
Right on. We have got plenty. We've got $5 from Epic, who says, Hi, Party Man X, SecksWrecks, and crew. Good luck attacking and dethroning Pac-Man from your friends in the community and Discord.
Hey, Epic.
Love you, Epic.
We've got $50 from Leona, who says, this game confounded me as a child. Glad to see it again at GDQ.
It continues to confound me as an adult, to be fair. I think we can get one more donation in.
Sure. We've got $50 from Jose, who says, I love GDQ. Let's beat cancer together.
All right, so we're coming up on the end of the hang glider section. We just got a few more ghosts trying to stop us. I don't actually know why, to be honest, but nonetheless, they are trying to keep us from getting a nice gift for our friend. So up here, this is where we'll finally get our flower, but more importantly, we're going to learn something interesting about Pac-Man coming up here. So there's going to be a balloon that rises from the bottom of the screen. Pac-Man is going to want this balloon more than anything, so we need to distract him. So right here, we see the balloon. Pac-Man sees it. We tell him to look the other way, and we just walk him over here, and it's like the balloon never existed. Pac-Man has not achieved object permanence yet. So Pac-Man's going to scan these flowers for a bit before he remembers, right, this is what I came here for.
I mean, can you really blame Pac-Man for not understanding object permanence? His first game was going to the same room 255 times.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so we wanted to be on the left side of this vine so he can fall down this hole real quick. And we're headed back home. So I think something important to keep in mind is, like, at the start of this mission, Ms. Pac-Man tells you to retrieve a flower from the mountains, as if that's like something that he has done before and has been relatively easy. But remember what all we just went through for that. So we're going to skip the cutscene here, but as you saw, Ms. Pac-Man was already holding a flower, so I guess she had gotten one while Pac-Man was out. Which makes me question how she got it.
She just used a power pellet and flew up the backside of the mountain.
So also, that's something interesting, as Ms. Pac-Man is in here, and she doesn't seem to be in any new games anymore. So I don't know if they're ever going to bring this game back, sadly.
No, probably not.
It's a shame, because everyone should play it. And if you have a Wii U kicking around, it for some reason released on there. And honestly, I was never sure why. I was in support of it, but still not sure how
this
that
would
happened.
be great with touch controls.
Yeah. Now, do you get touch controls with the Wii U version? No. But just think.
Pac-Man can dream.
So, essentially, what we need to do is get Namco to release a remaster of Pac-Man 2. All right, so we're headed to the city. So Pac-Man Jr., Pac Jr., I forget his name. He lost his guitar. His guitar was stolen, and it was the ghosts who did it. So coming right in here, we had to shoot Pac-Man twice to make him mad, so we'd ignore this pop machine. He is essentially a child, and he sees the pop machine, and he wants nothing more than to have a nice, cool, refreshing cola. So we needed to make him mad to get him past that. And then we needed to bully some children to make Pac-Man really mad, so then he'll confront the guard that is now in front of this gate. This strange blue man. So I'm going to line up a shot so I can drop a power pellet at the right spot. Because it turns out that this guard is actually 3 ghosts.
In a trench coat?
Yeah, more or less. So there's a little trick to how I place that power pellet. You saw Inky, the blue one. Yes, I know the ghosts' names. No, I am not proud of that. He had to be a little to the left of, or to the right of Pac-Man so that we could get another ghost, and then we would have the other 2 ghosts moving to the right so that the guitar would then drop as far to the right as possible, and we would save a little bit of time that way. So that was our first foray into the city. Sadly, we don't get to meet my favorite character, who you kind of saw on the right of the screen, but we're going to see a little more of him later. And we're going to use a power pellet because, again, Pac-Man is distracted by the smallest things, and if he passes by that hot dog cart, he is going to get a hot dog no matter what. And that cat you see on the right side of the screen is going to try to take it. And that takes forever, so we just skip past that. You really have to kind of feel bad for this farmer, because every time Pac-Man passes through, just absolute chaos occurs.
I mean, he does just fix the chicken coop each time. So, like, obviously, whoever's selling the chicken wire to fix that with is really making bank off this whole setup.
Yeah. All right, and now we are into our final mission. We see on the news that the Ghost Witch, who we would have seen in the cutscenes up to this point, and is a well-known Pac-Man character, has created a monster out of all of the chewed gum from the kids in the city. So we have to defeat that monster. That's what we've been collecting these ID cards for, to confront that monster. So we have one more ID card to get, so we're going to go and get that. It's in the city. How you're supposed to know how to get this, I don't know. But first, we have to make it to the city, and we don't want to spend any power pellets at this point, so we're just going to let Pac-Man walk through here. He doesn't try to get a hot dog because he's too embarrassed because he ran into the hot dog cart.
I also avoid buying hot dogs after running into the cart.
I feel like I might feel a little bad and get one out of sheer awkwardness.
Oh yeah, I might give them money and like be like, no, yeah, I don't even need the hot. I'm vegetarian anyway. Like, keep the hot dog. Just, I'm sorry.
All right, there's my favorite character. All right, that's all you see of him. So again, Pac-Man, anything he sees, he just wants to interact with. So he comes across this window washing station, just has to get in it. And it raises up, which apparently he wasn't expecting. I don't know what he was expecting. And turns out that was an ambush. So we want to land a power pellet here. We want Pinky to be to the right of Pac-Man so that she will progress to the right side of the screen and drop the ID card as far to the right on the screen as possible. So we have to watch Pac-Man walk as little as possible. That was pretty solid of a setup. And now we get to do the said watching Pac-Man walking. This game is chock full of excitement. You know, on a scale from Mario to Sonic, this is definitely on the Sonic end of the scale.
I was going to say it's the Pac-Man 2 end of the scale.
Right. It's so far off that they had to add a new game to the scale.
Yeah.
So we got to shoot Pac-Man off of this zip line, otherwise it's going to fly into the billboard. We don't want that happening, so the game makes it as hard for us as possible. This game wants you to fail at every turn, which is going to come back later after the run. So we see Pac-Man does a very cool jump. Congrats to Pac-Man for that one. As he gets Baby's Day'd out here.
Always hate when I'm walking on steel girders in a construction area and one just drops.
Yeah. Every time that happens, I have egg on my face. Alright, so we're going to bully some children again. Sorry about that. We need Pac-Man to be mad again because he's going to come across a fire hydrant that is spewing water, and he just needs to fix it. Also, by the way, this is Main Street, and it's looking rather desolate, isn't it?
It is.
Pac City's not doing so well, I guess. So we're going to go down to the sewer, and we're going to use another power pellet to get through here. There's a number of things. Interestingly, there's a secret door where I just shot that has another minecart section for the people who really wanted that. I don't know who did, but they have that. And now we're going to climb this ladder. So I found a really cool trick here just last night. You can shoot Pac-Man up this ladder if you're really careful. I didn't get it. So we're going to go for the backup, where we just shoot Pac-Man up the ladder there, which is going to skip a little bit of animation, and we're going to fly through here. That uses our last power pellet for now. We're going to get another one in the screen, in 2 screens from now, so no worries. Here we see a bunch of frying pans on the wall. I don't know why, but behind them is a secret code that you need to access the final boss. The code never changes, so that's good for us. The code is, I don't know which order they give it to you in the game, but I always remember it as 451. People know that as the code used in like System Shock, Deus Ex, all those games. So Pac-Man is among those. Yeah, the code doesn't have to be input in any specific order, so they throw you a bone there. And now we are seeing horrors beyond human comprehension, and Pac-Man looks at it with a smile. Gonna see a cool jump from Pac-Man here. Beautiful form. All right, so next screen is the entrance to the boss area. A major part of the game with how much time they put into making sure this animation is as long as possible. They really didn't want you to bring this game back to the rental place as soon as possible. So they made this very long. We're going to see Pac-Man scan each card one by one. Let's get a donation in.
Sure thing. We've got a $76.50 donation from Kitaru, who said, just had to take a look at Partyman X's Pac-Man 2 run. I enjoyed this strange game as a kid, but I know PMX will complete it faster.
Thanks, Kitaru. All right, so we're on the final boss now. We gotta toss Pac-Man a power pellet. We gotta be a little careful about the placement of this so it isn't behind Pac-Man. Time's coming up, by the way. We're going to shoot this arm before it hits Pac-Man, and we're basically home free at this point. We just have to shoot the gum monster in the corner of the screen. A couple of pixels are doing a lot of work and time. So that is that's Pac-Man 2, for better or for worse. Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. We still have our Smug Pac-Man incentive coming up.
Yes, we do. It was met. Yes, we do.
Yes. Yeah, so that's Pac-Man 2. I'm just going to let the last few cutscenes kind of play out, because honestly, I forget when this game saves. So let's just get this over with. Yeah, so that was the Ghost Witch. That's the one time you see her, basically. Yeah, you know, the Ghost Witch, our favorite Pac-Man character. All right, so 1 second. I'm going to reset the game here, and then we're going to be ready for the incentive showcase. All right, so in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so people wanted to see some Smug Pac-Man, so we're going to show you some first. So in the credits, post-credits, the game tells you to play more, that you didn't get enough of this game, and the run is any percent. So we can see here we only completed 20% of the game. The game actually gauges your completion by how many animations you see. So we're going to kind of go through a few of those, kind of play the game correctly, and show off kind of the most iconic animation from this game, which is Pac-Man being smug. So we boost Pac-Man's mood by drumming on the oil drum and food container, and then petting Pac Dog, and then eating an apple will tip us over into becoming smug. So while we're in this state, let's drop in on our friend Lucy, see what she's up to. She's struggling to move a couch, so let's see what Pac-Man does here. So yeah, he's kind of a jerk. When he's smug, he's happy to a fault, basically, and he will kind of cause trouble on his own. So in some weird way, you kind of want to avoid him being too happy. So now we're going to come across this bug. This is just fun. Pac-Man is so expressive in this game. I love it. All right, so we need
really all of the expression that they wanted to do in the arcade, but they didn't have the technology for it.
Yeah. So we got to knock down this sign. So when our pink-haired neighbor opens his door, we don't get hit by the door and lose the smug state. Let's actually knock on his door and just see how Pac-Man does that, because I love this animation so much. Just the smug knock and like the listening gesture. It's so good. And then the shrug. I love the shrug so much. All right, now let's just do one last thing. We can get Pac-Man to ride the skateboard. We first have to point out the pebble here, and then we'll see him get on the skateboard.
Every skateboarder knows that pebbles are their natural enemy.
Absolutely. And we'll see that right here, as Pac-Man has been compromised to a permanent end. And one last thing, let's just check the percentage. We have now cleared 24% of the game. That is Pac-Man 2. Thanks for having me. Enjoy the rest of Awful Block.
All right. Thank you very much. That was Party Man X with Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. Thank you very, very much. Final time on the main run, 24 minutes and 19 seconds. We had a lot of donations come on in for this one, including this one. We had a $5 donation from Jay Brahms that said, "Hey, party man, much love from the Tetris Grandmaster community. Remember the time that we took a break from the classic Tetris World Championship to scour the Portland Retro Gaming Expo for boxed copies of Pac-Man 2? I was hoping you heard that. Awesome. Thank you, Jay Brahms. Thank you for the $5. All right, AGDQ 2023 Online will continue after this. All right, welcome back to AGDQ 2023 Online. And hey, mark your calendars. Frost Fatales 2023, GDQ's next all-women charity speedrunning event, is coming up February 26th through March 4th. The Frame Fatales community will be raising money for charity and spotlighting the talented women in speedrunning. For more information about Frame Fatales, go to gamesdonequick.com/Frame Fatales or do !FF in the chat. If you are a woman interested in joining the Frame Fatales community, DM @Frame Fatales on Twitter or head to our website. All right, we had a few more donations come on, including this one. I can't resist. I got to do this. This is a great one. We got a chance to earn a few extra bucks for this, so I'm going to give it my best shot on this one. We had a $200 donation from Cloudy Shoe, who says, awful block, best block. An extra $50 if the host sings to this tune of the Andy Williams classic, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. All right, for $50 for Prevent Cancer, here we go. It's the most awfulest block of the year, with runs so compelling and everyone telling you this game looks weird. It's the most awfulest block of the year. It's the awfulest block of them all, with those slightly off graphics and janky mechanics that make us all call. It's the awfulest block of them all. There'll be odd games aplenty and surely be many that hasn't happened before. There'll be silly game stories and tales of the glories of GDQs long, long ago. It's the most awfulest block of the year, with runs so compelling and everyone telling you this game looks weird. It's the most awfulest block of the year. That was all right. Cloudy Shoe, you are an amazing writer. Thank you for the $200. I hope I've earned an extra $50. Thank you very much. Thank you. We also had some hype for Pac-Man. We had a $101.11 donation from Flibbit, who said, awful block is best block. But we must ask the important questions. Are Pringles just pre-sliced Pac-Man? Oof. Never thought of that before. All right. Well, right now, coming up, we have an interview. Feasel is standing by with 4 of our awful block runners. We have Oscar 424, Crak Attack, Hibnotix, and S2. Once again, here is Feasel.
Hello, everybody. I'm Feasel. I'm here with 4 of the runners from the awful block. We've got Asuka 424, Hibnotix, S2, and Crak Attack. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
All right, so first up, Asuka, you'll be running Lizard Lady versus the Cats.
Yes.
So what made you pick this game?
I could start off with this whole spiel about how I've found my calling in bringing awful block games and silly block games on the PS5 to light, or I could mention that it was on sale for 25 cents. They're both true, but what's funny with Lizard Lady is it's introduced me to the Voices Games, the developer of it. And it's there's a series of games that are just, they're so fun to play and have this really good tech to it. So after this, my next goal is to work on the, I guess, spiritual successor, which is Lady in a Leotard with a Gun. So look out for that, also by Voices Games. So yeah.
Sounds like a very good deal. Maybe other people will get into running it just for that reason.
Right?
Nice, thrifty speed run to do.
Heck yeah.
All right, and what do you think is the most challenging part about this run? What do you really concentrate on?
The fact that none of the AI will do anything you want it to. You can only shoot when you're walking. You have to somehow jump, roll around, and you're literally herding cats as you're trying to defeat them, and they will go in the complete opposite direction that you need them to go to. So you have all this wonderful speed tech, and the cats can just say no and hide in the corner. So it's really fighting against the game to make it do what you want to do and quickly.
Okay, that sounds like it's a pretty familiar thing for cat lovers in general. I think maybe people can identify with that. All right. Well, next up we have Hibnotix and S2, who will be running Sonic Blast. So this is a Sonic versus Knuckles race. And tell me, what do you think this race is going to depend on? What's this race going to come down to?
Well, there's an element of a couple of things. The game's fairly simple when you put it up against certainly other 8-bit titles as well as 16-bit titles, but the RNG in it is pretty ridiculous. S2, why don't you cover just how strange it is?
Yeah, so on the end, I guess to give a pretty quick description, on the end of each level, the signpost that you spin to end the level can have a few different outcomes, and it can range from, being good to being really bad. You can lose, 4 seconds on every single level. And there's no control.
Over the course of a run, you could probably lose like a solid, like the best part of a minute. So we just got to pray that it's on our side when we run.
Yeah, another interesting thing about the race is because the characters have different movement options, Sonic has a lot of faster level routes and Knuckles has a lot of faster boss levels. So it's kind of interesting how they're a little bit different there, but they kind of end up evening out.
Do you think one character is kind of favored over the other in the race, or really could it just go either way?
I think me and Hibnotix are both fanboys of our own character enough that we'd each say our own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Potential bias there. Yeah.
All right. Well, what made you each decide to run this game in the first place?
Well, go on, Stu. Do you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it. I feel I have a decent story. So before I was into Sonic Blast, I was very much down the rabbit hole of speedrunning a different Sonic game, and me and Hibnotix had kind of a rivalry going in that, and I enjoyed my time playing against this fella. So when I saw he was speedrunning Sonic Blast, I figured I'd hop on the train, and yeah, it's been fun to run against him. I've enjoyed it.
I think the only reason that I picked it up is because it has Knuckles in it, and I like the Knuckles speedruns. I've made my red light, my light red. There we go, to represent the boy. He needs some more love, and I was honoured to run Knuckles and Knuckles Chaotix at SGDQ. So to keep that going and to have something in the awful block, I feel like that we've peaked. S2, we've peaked.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All downhill from here. All right. And finally, Crack Attack, the final speedrunner that we're going to interview here. You're going to be running Steven Seagal is the Final Option Prototype. So this game is labeled Prototype. Now, what is the story behind that?
All right, we got an interesting story with this. So there's a company called Tech Magic that was starting development of this game, and they didn't want to pay Steven Seagal enough because obviously he was pretty big back in his day in 1994, during his peak. Among other things, they were just squabbling and all that stuff. They didn't really want to make the game, apparently. And they went out of business. And so there's only three or four original carts out there, prototypes out there. And one of these guys got a ROM of it and put it on the internet. So that's what I'm going to be playing later today.
And you could tell, I mean, they didn't even spell Steven Seagal's name right, did they?
Sometimes it's spelled right, sometimes it's not.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know how to spell it sometimes, so that might be me.
Suffice it to say, this game did not get to the QA section of development, I guess.
No, so there's no cart of the game. All I got is like other games that are broken, and like Ninja Gaiden 3 and Where's Waldo.
So dare I even ask, what drew you to this game as a speedrun?
Actually, a friend showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh, this kind of looks like Time Cop, like on SNES.
Right.
It's got like digitized graphics." I'm like, "Oh, it's just something funny," and then I ended up like learning it just out of the blue, and so it's actually I learned a lot like with routing and so on with this game.
Sometimes that's how it goes. It starts out as a joke, but then you get serious, because all speedrunners like to get serious when they play a game a few times. But
yeah, I didn't think it'd be at the end of an awful block of GDQ ever, so here we are.
All right. That's through the final game in the Alpha Block. Well, that's it. That's all the time we have. Thank you all very much for talking with me today, and good luck with your runs.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, stick around, everybody, and check out these 3 great runs coming up soon.
All right. Thank you, Feasel. Thank you very much for interviewing 4 of our upcoming runners here on the Awful Block. The Awful Block is one of the staples of Awesome Games Done Quick, and we have got plenty more for it. We got plenty more of it for you on tap. We're also talking about these incentives. We got 2 more I want to talk about. We got in 2 runs upcoming. We have a run, the game Office Race, Quack Mode. I think these 2 are pretty self-explanatory, so I don't really need to say a whole lot. All I know is we need to get them met. Office Race, Quack Mode. Quack Mode. Quack Mode. I think that says it all. It'll be met at $2,000. We're currently about $1,400 away from that. So make sure you get in to get some quack, 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 quack. Also, this also is self-explanatory. I think we need to see this too. Salamander County Public Television, do the dabbing taco. Those are 2 words that you will never, ever see come together other than the Awful Block on AGDQ. Dabbing taco. That is over halfway there. Also at $2,000, we're about a little over $900 away from that one. Let's make sure those incentives get met. Yeah? Yeah. We have, here we go. We have a follow-up. We have a $100 donation from Bryson Robot. Says, an Eternal Enigma earned more than just $50 with nailing that Awful Block song. Here's another 100 for that. Hey, look, if it's for raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, you name it, I will probably do it. Bryson Robot, thank you very much for the $100. It's my absolute pleasure. Also, it is my pleasure to let you know that our next run for Awesome Games Done Quick 2023 online is ready to go. The runner we will be seeing for the first time, they were a part of the 4-way Phasmophobia race back at SGDQ 2022, our last event. And this is the first time we've ever seen this game at a GDQ event. So coming up next, it is Yolanda, the ultimate challenge. The category is Wimp %. Everybody say hello to Flannel Cat.